Welcome to this special Roll for Crit preview. We're actually not in our studio, but at PAX Unplugged, because we're going to get a chance to preview Tsuro Phoenix Rising.
That's right, we're actually in the Calliope Games booth right now, and this is an early prototype copy of the game. If you're watching this, it's probably on Kickstarter right now, so you can check it out there to see the final components, which maybe we'll talk about a little more later. But the gist of the game, it's a brand new version of the game, standalone, with pretty different gameplay compared to the original Tsuro, although it shares some of that tile placement DNA. So the basics of it is, you start with these tiles here, and these are going to be all laid out in the center of the board. That's after everybody has received their pawn. So here's a little phoenix.
Right. You are playing as phoenixes, and you're trying to reignite the sky again with stars. And to do so, you're going to have to hit these lanterns.
That's right. You also get a life token, and that's, I'm just giving them all to you.
Yes, of course.
That's going to come into play later. You get a little extra life. And then you're going to have 2 starting tiles as well after you've chosen a path that you want to take from any edge space on the board. So again, once the game starts, you're going to have these tiles randomly assorted. It is the same set of tiles each time, but they're in a random order, and you will see they each have a lantern on them. That's very important. Those lanterns are going to be represented by actual pretty translucent lantern pieces.
Yes, right now we just have cubes, but there will be, we've seen mock-ups of these beautiful little lanterns in different shapes and all just different colors too, so that's pretty cool.
You can also see already that we're putting these tiles on this fancy little tile board here. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about how that thing works?
Yeah, so a lot of this game will actually be about flipping and manipulating the tiles, and if you've ever played a tile game, that can be a little hard to do tiles that aren't on the edge. So they designed this board so you can literally just put down your finger to rotate or easily flip it over. It really makes it a lot of fun and easier to have this sort of board manipulation.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the pressure off. You don't have to worry about the table shaking and all your pieces flying everywhere. So as you can see, I'm putting lanterns down only on the spaces where the lanterns are lit. That is important and may come into play in certain versions of the game that you're playing.
I think
sometimes
this one actually got
one of them can be flipped. You can tell because they should have clouds on the borders, so you'll know, and you'll know which ones are the correct starting ones. And so once you're into the game, once you're jumping in, as I said, you pick your starting point. You choose one of your 2 tiles that you have. I'll kind of fake it for the sake of this. And you decide how you want to orient it, what direction you want it to be flipped, place it down, and what you're trying to do, like that would probably not be the best move, what you're trying to do, this is a tough tile, I'm going to go here. What you're trying to do is go through a space with a lantern. If you manage to...
So if that was like lit.
Yeah, if you manage to go onto the space and exit it, not just stop there, then you receive a point, you place a star on that space, the lantern goes onto a new lantern space, anyone that you like, and then you get that star. First person to get 7 stars is the winner.
Now, like original Tsuro, there may be instances where you run off the edge of the board or another player, but in this game, that's when these little life tokens come in. You, like a phoenix, you get to rise again. So you actually can choose to leave the board and start over again, or if you fall off the board. That allows you pretty much to have an extra life, which can be really useful, especially if you really want to start someone else or if someone forces you off the board. Yeah,
you only get one of those. So like I made a decision in our game to use it early on, and I felt it was a mistake. I took it for granted how valuable that extra life was. But otherwise, you just keep going around, and like Tsuro, you're following the path, trying to make the best move you can. If you get to a point where you have to stop because, like for here, for instance, the line doesn't connect, then in your next turn, you would be able to manipulate this tile. You can rotate it, flip it, try to move it somewhere that you want it to go to help you out, and hopefully not fall off the board and die.
But what we just explained is actually the basic rules. They have an advanced version, and in the advanced one, for example, if you go into an infinite loop, which is possible because people manipulate tiles, that's as if hitting the edge of the board, you die. But in this one, you actually are allowed to then manipulate the tiles a bit more, so that way you can sort of get your way out of a loop. And that can happen because when you hit lanterns, then you manipulate those tiles more as well. So it's even more board manipulation, meaning there's a lot more thinking about how remembering, oh, I know what's on that side of the tile, so I can flip it that way and stuff. It really allows a lot more complexity and strategy in the game.
Yeah, if you're with a group who knows the tiles well and knows what they're doing, you can really come up with some crazy loop-de-loops and paths. And if you're lucky, you know, you can get multiple lanterns in a single turn, which feels really good to do. But it's pretty straightforward. It is pretty different from the original Tsuro. Definitely a more complex game, although still relatively light. It's not a real brain burner, but it has more game aspects to it that I really enjoyed. And this tile board here is just kind of the cherry on top. That
I mean, I cannot wait to see. This tile thing is great. I can see so many fun ideas using this. But we played the 4-player, but we should mention this goes up to 8 if you didn't count the number of phoenixes on the board, which I can just imagine is so crazy, everyone running across the board trying to get enough lanterns. But no, as you said, the regular Tsuro is definitely one of those early games a lot of people consider, like, when you enter the board game world, it's one of those games you see first. And I feel like it took that, and without really ruining it, we still have the lines and making patterns and stuff, but the whole idea of trying to manipulate to make sure you hit lanterns instead, those special checkpoints, it really brings a lot more interesting, because there's ways, like we saw in one match where it lined up perfectly 3 in a row, so someone just like shot through and got a lot, and it felt like crazy to do that.
Yeah, they told us that the most they'd ever seen someone get was 4 lanterns in one turn, which is pretty impressive. Yeah. I only managed to get I had 3 or 4 stars at the end of our game. We lost. We all lost to the people demoing it to us, but they had an unfair advantage. But yeah, it is really, really fun. If you like the original Tsuro or Tsuro of the Seas, I think there's enough difference. It's not just a reskin. It's not just like an expansion. It is its own standalone thing, and it's a good, lighter game with enough depth going on that you can have fun with it if you're, you know,
I think
you like that kind of thing.
The Ashes, I believe that's what they're officially called, is actually a great mechanic for both new and old. Because I know for us going in, it's like, okay, I have, you know, a safety net to fall on. But if you get to more advanced gameplay, you can think of how to really abuse this, whether it's instead of just waiting until I go off the board, I'm going to use it now because I see a lineup of like 4 in a row.
Yeah, or you might see that someone is about to win, but maybe they already used their life tokens. You might devote your energy not to getting lanterns, but to trying to drive them off the board as well.
Right. So that really, I think, provides that perfect balance of strategy for the new people like the net, but also the advanced strategy later on. And that's what it is. Like, this allows for that kind of mix of, which is what you'd want to reward both the new and the old. Yeah. Considering this is, I believe, 10th anniversary of Tsuro? 15th anniversary of Tsuro, I think, and 10th anniversary of Calliope. I think the other way around. Maybe. We'll find out. It's a birthday for sure. Yeah. So it's a celebration. If you're watching this now, then you can find out exactly what the anniversary is and all the details of Tsuro Phoenix Rising on the Kickstarter, which is live, and we'll have a link in the description below. It's going to be $40, so go check that out and see how beautiful the little Phoenix pieces look, the final full 3D models, and the cool translucent lanterns. And let us know in the comments below what you think, if you're a fan of this Tsuro or the other Tsuros, if you're going to back it, or if you have any other thoughts or questions for us in the future. Until next time, I'm Jonathan. I'm Will.
And this is Roll for Crit with a preview from PAX Unplugged. Hey, if you liked this video, then like this video and subscribe to our channel for more board game content.
Would you kindly do it now?